much for coming. 2 days ago, the Berejiklian government announced that they will not act to strengthen the state's laws against hate speech and around the promotion of racist violence. This is a morally disgraceful decision by the Berejiklian government. They're doing this in order to pander to Pauline Hanson. We've seen the Liberal and National parties at state elections this year in Western Australia and Queensland enter into preference arrangements with Pauline Hanson's One Nation. And in order to achieve that here, the Berejiklian government has ripped up what was a bipartisan consensus that the state's laws to protect everyone from racist violence, those laws need to be strengthened. This tells you the moral degeneration of the Liberal Party over the last couple of years. Former Premier Barry O'Farrell and I were as one in saying that the laws are so weak and ineffective here in New South Wales when it comes to dealing with characters who preach hate against ethnic minorities. Premier O'Farrell launched a parliamentary inquiry in 2013. It was unanimous. Members from all parties said the law's weak and ineffective. No one's ever been successfully prosecuted in 30 years of these provisions under the Anti-Discrimination Act. They need to be strengthened. In 2015, Premier Baird and Attorney General Upton promised the law would be strengthened. Earlier this year, another review under Stepan Kerkasharian was initiated by the state government. The intention of the government, they always told us, was to act to strengthen the law. 2 days ago they announced they're going to do nothing. They've met as a cabinet last week and consciously taken a decision not to strengthen the law. I mean, you have in this state maniacs standing in the public square preaching hatred and inciting violence. I mean, you had one character who called for murder of the Jews. And you have the old prejudice of anti-Semitism, a more recent prejudice of hatred against people of the Islamic faith, and a problem that's existed here since the 19th century of anti-Chinese bigotry. You have a coalition of 31 community groups in New South Wales, led by the Chinese community, the Indian community, the Greek community, the Muslim community and the Jewish community. But 31 communities represented, saying keep New South Wales safe from racist violence, strengthen the law. And the Liberal and National parties have consciously decided this week not to do that in order to suck up to Pauline Hanson. This is an act that is morally disgraceful. So I announced today that we won't stand for this. If we're elected to form the next government of New South Wales in early 2019, we will act to strengthen the laws against hate speech and against the promotion of violence against anyone on the basis of race or ethnicity, and we'll do that, we'll legislate in our first 100 days. It's a very clear commitment. This will be a top priority for an incoming Labor government. Because I've heard from the Chinese community, from the Islamic community and Jewish community, from the Greek and Indian communities in particular, that the laws are weak and ineffective in New South Wales and must be strengthened. And if the Liberal Party won't act because they're in bed with Pauline Hanson, well, Labor will. Labor will protect everyone in New South Wales, all 8 million of our people, wherever you come from in the world. Wherever you come from. If you came here from Europe after the Holocaust in the late 1940s, or you came here from China last year, you have a right to live here as a free and equal citizen of Australia and never be subjected to hate speech, let alone any character promoting violence against an ethnic minority. So this is a matter of a decent society. We'll have a decent society here in New South Wales. We'll strengthen the laws against racial hate. The Liberals won't do it, Labor will. So I thank you very much for coming. I'd be happy to answer questions. Hi.
How is Labor going to find a balance between free speech and anti-racial?
Yeah, well, we're guided by the work of that parliamentary committee in 2013-14. We're guided by the recommendations there. I'm all for free speech, but there are limits. There are limits. Where free speech tips over into someone promoting violence against their fellow citizens on the basis of their national origin or their race or their ethnicity, the law must be strong to stop that. I won't have some maniac standing on a street corner promoting violence against Asians or Jews or Muslims. We cannot have it. And so our laws will protect free speech, but they'll never ever allow the promotion of violence against anyone.
Would you comment on the Bennelong by-election?
On Bennelong, well, I wish Christina Keneally, my friend, all the best. It's a tough seat for Labor, but I'm very proud of the campaign that Christina Keneally and the Mayor of Ryde, Jerome Laxale, and our federal leader, Bill Shorten, are running there in Bennelong. I'll be there on Saturday to help. And, I know there's a very large Chinese-Australian community there in Bennelong who I deal with very regularly. And, I wish Christina all the best on Saturday. The Labor Party's running very, very hard to send a message to Mr Turnbull's government. And I'll be there over the next 15 months, particularly in that seat of Ryde. And I'll be saying to, whether it's the Chinese community or the Armenian community or the Korean community in the seat of Ryde, that it's the Labor Party that will protect you, that ensure wherever you come from in the world, whatever your race, whatever your ethnicity, that the law here protects you. Okay, thank you very much.